Hobbit kitchen, and tonight we're going to make some super easy beef braciole. What do I mean by super easy? I mean, instead of using the normal beef, we are going to use cube steak. I've done it before, comes out super tender, and it's a bit quicker, which I like. So I have 3 cube steaks here and some prosciutto. I'm going to mix some breadcrumbs with some onion powder, smoked paprika, garlic, thyme, salt, and pepper, because I'm using plain breadcrumbs. Don't mind the paper towel under my cutting board. It is to keep it from sliding off the counter, because apparently these boards, they like to slip and slide. I don't know why. Anyway, I'm going to start by mixing up the breadcrumbs. Just a little plain breadcrumbs. You don't need too much. It's just going to go in the center with the prosciutto. And I'm going to add some fresh Parmesan to that too. I can find it in the chaos that is my fridge. Ugh. Wow. Really feeling more and more like I have not organized things the way I want in the new kitchen. Can't quite find everything as quickly as I'd like to. But anyway. If anybody out there is watching this or wonders what I'm doing, just feel free to ask. And if you have any thoughts on dishes that you'd like to see me make in the Hobbit kitchen, feel free to let me know. I am always looking for suggestions and ideas. So we've got some onion powder, a little fresh thyme, some smoked paprika, because honestly, I love it in pretty much all of my Italian dishes, and a little garlic powder that I haven't taken the safety seal off of yet. And the factory seal is so tight on this thing, I may not be able to open it. So I think we're going to use some fresh garlic. Anyway, we'll add fresh garlic to the sauce after. So, a little pepper. Just a pinch of salt, because between the Parmesan and the prosciutto, there's already plenty of salt. All right, I'm just going to mix that up. And then I'm going to put a piece of prosciutto in the center of each cube steak, and then top it with some of the Parmesan breadcrumb mixture. Just as soon as I grab a glove. I should really keep the gloves in the kitchen. All right, I'm back. I got gloves. I'm ready. Absolutely crazy. So I'm going to put the rest of the prosciutto and the Parmesan in the fridge real quick, and then I'll start stuffing the beef. And in case you're wondering about the dish towel on my counter, I was just covering up the bitch in the box. Can't say her name or she'll think I'm looking for her help with something, but if you have them in your house, you know what I mean. That's what we call her around here, bitch in the box. So, I'm going to start with one of the smaller cube steak pieces, and I'm just going to put the prosciutto right on it like that. And I'll do the same with, I'll do the same and make a mess with the other small piece. And then I'll put the rest of the prosciutto on the larger cube steak. I wish these packages would all come, you know, at least close to the same size, but it is what it is. So, all 3 of those. Once I add breadcrumb mixture to it, I am going to use some kitchen twine and roll them, and then tie them up so that they don't come apart while they're cooking in a tomato sauce. Just press it down like that. This comes out so freaking delicious too. If you've never made it before, definitely give it a try. You won't regret it. All right, now it's time to roll, and unlike the last time I did this, this time I already cut my kitchen twine so that it's ready to go, because this is not an easy task. So I'm going to start at the long end, just roll everything up nice and tight, making sure to pull back, that way you don't throw your breadcrumbs all over the place, and then leave it until I'm ready to tie it. And then do the same with the other two. Once these are tied up, I'm going to sear them on all sides, and then I'm going to bake them in the tomato sauce. We'll just run the twine underneath, and I'm going to give it a wrap and a flip, and do the same thing again, and then just tie it on top. You want to make sure you pull these kind of tight just to keep everything inside. And I know my hands are in the way a little bit, but I'll move them. So you can leave the extra string on or snip it a little bit, doesn't matter. Either way, it'll be fine. It's made for cooking. The rest of the string is a little long because I expected all of the cube steak to be the same size, and it wasn't. I wish it was pink cookies. That's a good idea, though, for my Friday night treats, which I can finally bring back next Friday. Well, this Friday now, because it's Sunday. Days blend together when you just moved. Anyway, get this last one tied up here on the end. Make a nice big mess in my kitchen. The Hobbit kitchen still is without the new dishwasher. I really wish Lowe's would hurry up with getting the permit and everything. I spent the last decade of my life just about washing all my dishes by hand. So I finally thought I was going to have a dishwasher in the new house, and when I found out it was busted, it was just a total disappointment. So I'm doing about 2 batches of dishes a day right now, sometimes 3. It's a little inconvenient, I'm not crazy about it. But there are far bigger problems in the world, so it is what it is. Anyway, give these a little snip. In case you're wondering why I'm rambling, it's because I'm nervous as hell. I've got some oil heating up in a pan to sear the braciole, and once it's seared, I'll take it out of the pan, put it in a Pyrex. We're going to use a can of crushed tomatoes. You can also use tomato sauce, but it does come out better with the crushed tomatoes. I opted to buy mine with the basil in them, but you can just add fresh basil. I just didn't like the way it looked at the store, and the farm didn't have any. So move over to the stove. Yada, yada, yada. As soon as I find my tongs, I'll be able to get this into the pan. That's hot. Okay. Probably not fully heated up yet, but I can get them plopped down. Oh boy. Later this week in the Hobbit kitchen, I'll be making some sort of lasagna or white lasagna instead of the traditional. And there's definitely going to be some Friday night treats this week. And a few extra kitchen surprises. All right, as soon as this starts to sizzle and sear, we'll be doing good in that area. In the meantime, I'm going to open up a can of crushed tomatoes. I can't wait till the Shire garden is ready to harvest so I can can my own tomatoes, because I must spend more than a couple $100 a year on canned tomato products because of how much I use. It'll be nice to finally have my own fresh ones. Ooh. Oh, those are good sounds I'm hearing. I like the sizzle. Just want to give them a light sear on all sides. I am dying of thirst, so you're going to hear a soda can open. Because I can't wait. Ooh, that's looking good already. Yum. This is going to be so good when it's done. If you're just tuning in, I'm making super easy beef braciole. I have used cube steak instead of the traditional flank steak or chuck because it comes out a lot more tender and it cooks faster. Now, once this is completely seared, I can take it out of the pan. Still getting used to the whole concept of having an electric stove now. So used to being able to shimmy and toss and move my pans. Ah. All right. These are just about good enough to come out of here. Last thing I want to do is overcook them. So I'm going to shut this off for now. And I'm going to move over here to this Pyrex dish. And I'm going to rest the beef in there while I prepare the sauce. Obviously, if you make this, make sure you remove the kitchen twine when you're done cooking. Otherwise, people are going to have bread on their plate, basically, and that would suck. Okay. Now to this, I'm going to add 1 can of crushed tomatoes. And I'm going to add some red wine. You don't have to add the red wine. It is optional, but I'm almost 100% Portuguese, and to be honest, I cook with a lot of wine. So, just going to get this all into the sauce, and then I'll add some fresh garlic and other things to it after I add the wine. And looking at the size of this, maybe I should have used a bigger pan, but I think I'm going to be okay. There. And tonight, let's see. No, I got a little bit of Chianti left. How about we use that? Just going to add about 1/4 cup. And then I'll add some fresh garlic, as I said, and mix everything all up. These crushed tomatoes do have basil in them already. You don't have to get them that way, but the fresh basil at the grocery store looked like crap, so I opted for the crushed tomatoes with the basil in them. Now, lots of garlic. Again, optional. You don't have to use a lot. I just prefer to. And I do mean a lot. I really like garlic. All right. I'm just going to give all of this just a quick little mix, and then I'm going to cover it and put it in the oven at 325, and it's going to bake for a little while, a good 1.5 to 2 hours, give or take. But the result is such a delicious dish. Now, I'm probably going to stay live while it's cooking. I can answer food questions or anything else, or I can take you outside and show you the Shire garden while it's cooking. So you just want to cover everything a little bit with the sauce. And it's ready for the oven after I get the foil. You got so many birds on my bird feeder right now, it's crazy. All right. Cover this up, throw it in the oven. Hello, Hunter Kinser. Just saw this now. Sorry, I wasn't looking at the screen. All right, time to throw this into the oven. I am loving the dual zones. All right, while this bakes, that's pretty much all for now. I will show you guys the completed dish later on in a short. And right now, before I kick off completely, I'll take you outside and show you the Shire garden. Unlocking the door would help. So, this is my garden, waiting for the zucchini and summer squash to flower. I'm waiting for these tomatoes very patiently. Anyway, that's all for now from the Hobbit kitchen and the Shire garden. Hmm. And I will post a short video, as I said, later on of the completed dish, or just throw it straight into a post.